Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the full card of fights for UFC 282 Blachowicz versus Ankalaev. So without further ado, let's get to our first fight on the card. All right, so in our first fight, we have in the bantamweight division, Cameron Simon versus Steven Kozlow. And how I see from right here is I'm going to go Cameron Simon to beat Steven Kozlow. I'm going to say within the distance. I think it's going to be a very competitive fight. But I definitely think this is a big step down for Cameron Simon. He was supposed to fight a, pretty solid prospect that's like, roughly more so than his prime. Good grappling, good striking, good overall skill set. Now he's dropping down to this guy that's very, very much not tested at all. Hasn't really fought no one. You can say Simon hasn't really fought no one, but Simon at least has fought at least a championship level, maybe on the lower end, like with EFC, that region, which is not really the strongest region, but still a championship level. Where I feel like Coslo has nowhere near there. He does seem to have a little bit more experience than amateurs, or a lot more experience than amateurs. But I like Cameron Simon now. I feel like he's been preparing for something at a higher level. Now he's taking a big steep down in competition. And I feel like even Coslo's even a step down from his contender series fight, to be honest. No insult to him. Two young guys, but Simon, they both baby level, age-wise. Coslo like 25, and Simon is 20 years old, 22. But Simon already, even been 3 years younger, has been fighting better competition and been seeking to fight even better competition. So I felt he'll be prepared for Kozlo in this one. I think it'll be a competitive fight. I feel like Kozlo's grappling gonna be a little bit of an issue for like maybe a round or two, but I feel like Simon's gonna start to stuff the takedown, start to rip him to the body, rip him up top, and just really start to put the pressure on him, shut his takedowns down and start to wear on him, maybe even get his own takedown. But I think it's a wear down effect. I think Kozlo gonna look, and also the fact Kozlo's coming in on short notice as well is only gonna help the theme I'm going with here. I feel like Kozlo's gonna look okay. I don't feel like he's gonna look great. Probably close round. I feel like still be Simon round in the first round, but Kozlo's gonna have probably some good control time. Maybe like no real great control time, but like at least he's gonna be in a position where he could get control time. Like maybe trying to hold him in his cage, maybe barely in guard type of thing. Maybe hold him against the cage, just very weak control time, but control time still nonetheless. Where Simon's gonna be the one doing the effective damage in the fight. But then like Colin gonna start to wear down. Simon's gonna vest to the body. Now I feel like a late second round TKO for Cameron Simon. So in this one, I got Cameron Simon via second round TKO. Now to our next fight we have in the flyweight division, Daniel Da Silva versus Vinicius Salvador. And how I see right here is, let me just say it, Daniel Da Silva has not been looking great. And I think this is either first round or second round TKO for Salvador. I'm gonna go first round TKO for Vinicius Salvador. I feel like skill-wise, technical-wise, I feel like Daniel Silva might even be a little bit better. Let me just not even say that. Like, if you were better, you would be better. Like, ain't with it. Like, you can't. Your fight IQ drops like that. That's who you are. If your cardio can't hold up, that's who you are. You can say, "Well, I'm the best fighter for a minute. Like, I'm better than you technically in the gym and all that stuff." But what have you shown in the cage? You have not shown nothing impressive. So I'm not even gonna give him that. Vinicius Salvador is the better fighter. I feel right here. I feel like he has the crisper hands. I feel like he got more dog in him for sure. Put a pace, maintain a pace for 3 rounds if needed, and he could definitely get him out. I feel like De Silva just got TKO by a guy that don't have notable power, and now Salvador has notable power and has far cleaner striking than his last opponent. And obviously, it wasn't just based off striking with like fatigue and just grinding him out, and that was in like a round, so very weird. But nonetheless, I just feel like I'm gonna say Vinicius Salvador first round. I was like Daniel Silva might look good for like a minute or two. But once the fight starts settling down, and Salvador started to really put some oomph behind his punches and start sitting on his punches, I feel like Daniel Silva gonna be able to take it for much. Just start to see him getting crumbled up by the power of Vinicius Salvador, and Salvador just let him have it all and putting him out in the first round. So in this one, I have Vinicius Salvador via first round TKO. Now to our next fight we have in the featherweight division, Eric Silva versus TJ Brown. And how I see from right here is I'm gonna go, I'm gonna trust TJ Brown just one more time. I ain't trusting with no money. I definitely ain't doing that. Probably never again in his life. Maybe against him. I'm not trusting him to make no this and this and that. But I'm gonna trust him on the prediction side, and that's it. But very little. Probably, matter of fact, this is low confidence. If it was very low confidence, it would be very low confidence. But I only got lowest is low, so I'm going low confidence TJ Brown here to beat Eric Silva. I just feel like Eric Silva, he's older. He's 35 years old. I think TJ Brown was like 29, 30. He's definitely younger, no matter how you cut it, by at least 5 years. Yeah, so Eric Silva is the matter of fact, let me see. Is TJ Brown actually sub 30? Let me just pull that out real quick. This thing lagging at the same time, so like I'll take extra time out the video. If it's taking too long, I'm just gonna. He's 32. He's only 3 years younger, but still roughly in his prime. Whereas Eric Silva like right at the end of his prime. But Do we like? Can you really even say either of these guys have a prime? Are they that good to even deserve to say prime for each fighter? I don't know, but yeah, Eric Silva hasn't really fought nobody. He's fought in a region where grappling's pretty weak, and he looks good. Look, he looked good in a weak region. Then the last guy he fought a kickboxer who's not even like one of those smooth, slick kickboxers, but like a punching bag kickboxer who just walks you down, wear you down. So he's there to take down, he's there to hit, and when he hit him, and he took him down. So it wasn't like he fought no real smooth, slick striker, and also not a guy that had a lot of fights and had worked on his takedown defense. So he fought pretty much amateur in his last fight, and he looked good. So Aristotle has not fought anyone good, where I feel like TJ Brown has fought, a lot of good competition. He might not always look the best and stuff and fear the best, or won, definitely hasn't always won, but I like his competition. Like the fact he's younger, like the fact that he's more battle tested. I feel like Silva definitely has opportunities, but I feel like Aristotle probably is the better striker here, and probably if he can assert himself, and that could translate to the whole overall fight. Like he start to just load up, like start to touch Brown with some power, get him on the back foot, and you can set up your own takedowns, start to demoralize and put pressure on him, touch him, hurt him, and then things open up, or at least, like I said, gain respect and things open up. And I feel like Aristotle definitely has that in him to do that, but I just can't really trust his resume as of right now. He's older and has not fought no one. That's as simple as that. And I feel like TJ Brown definitely has suffered more losses, but his competition level has been drastically different. I gotta trust that. And it's also like it's not like Aristotle has this style advantage where TJ Brown is this guy that has no grappling, and Aristotle is just super good grappler, getting you down and controlling you, tapping you out type guy, or really good at controlling you for 3 rounds. It's not like a style mismatch. So it's like similar styles, similar in the broadest sense. Neither guy has any real great advantage over the other guy. So it might have momentum. That's what you could give him at best. And that's really what people are leaning to, momentum, because Eric Silva really has not shown anything against no one credible. Where you see around, we have at least seen him look good in parts against some good competition. Ultimately, like I said, I'm just going with the more experienced guy, the younger guy, the more tested guy, and TJ Brown. I'm saying he's going to grind out a decision over Eric Silva. So in this one, I got TJ Brown via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the featherweight division, Billy Quarantillo versus Alexander Hernandez. So I'm going Billy Q here. And it's not no disrespect to Alexander Hernandez or anything, or just no favoritism to Billy Q or anything like that. It's definitely not either of those two. But yeah, Alexander Hernandez is still a very, very young guy. He still could, shift his career around. It's not like he's a 35, 37-year-old guy trying to like drop down to a weight class to save his career. He's a younger guy trying to drop down to a weight class to save his career. But yeah, it's not the same exact thing, but the current trend is definitely favor Billy Q. Also, like Billy Q is, let me say a trend I found on I've been building as far as my where I went wrong series. It's like if a guy drops down, he can have success if he's dropping down and he's fighting a guy that's beneath him in skill level, but relatively around the same skill level or above the skill level. It seems like just about like 90% of the time that guy who's dropping down will lose, unless he, like I said, the better fighter by a significant clip. But in reality, Billy Q and Alexander Hernandez, they aren't that too far apart. Maybe at lightweight, I would say Alexander Hernandez is a better fighter, probably at lightweight. But dropping down to 45, it's not like Hernandez was so much of a better fighter, maybe at 55 than Billy Q in my estimates, in my guesstimations. And also he has issues and stuff. He has, can mentally tap out, can slow down in fights, can get lost, can get complacent. And Billy Q is a guy that gets stronger as the fight goes on. He can push a pace. He has good cardio. He's tough. That's one thing about him. He's tough Billy Q. Like, you could come out there aggressive on him. You don't put him away. Matter of fact, I don't think he's been put away. He's hard to put away. I don't think he's been put away, but don't quote me on that. And he can go rounds and he can get strong as the fight goes on. So, and also coming down, I feel like Billy Q has already adjusted to this weight class. Where I feel like Hernandez, this is his very first fight. So he could look good hitting the mitts, hitting this stuff, and looking strong and stuff. With all, like, even in your regular weight class, what does hitting mitts look like? It was good, it sounds good and whatnot, but it don't win you fights. So ultimately, I feel like Billy Q is going to experience that 45, him being adjusted to 45, where Hernandez is just dropping down and the skill level being relatively even, or relatively not too much different. I feel like Hernandez can probably look good a little bit early, but Billy Q is just going to, he's going to drag him late and drown him. I don't think he's going to put him away or anything. It's going to be a decision. I don't think Billy Q is that great of a finisher, to be honest. So it's going to probably be a decision, which will leave another opportunity for Hernandez to kind of eke in there, because judges could be however they want to be. But I feel like it's going to be a fight that's going to favor Billy Q. Hernandez might be good early, but Billy Q going to wear on him over the course of the fight and just start to outwork him, outvalue him, and maybe even score some grappling positions over him as the fight wears on. And like I said, the mental fortitude, the cardio, the experience at this weight class and already being adjusted to this weight class. So in this one, I got Billy Quarantillo via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the middleweight division, Chris Curtis versus Joaquin Buckley in high seas right here. I think this is going to be a very, very competitive, very fun fight. But I'm about to go with Joaquin Buckley. I don't feel like adding weight for Chris Curtis is going to help him. Maybe might help him to land that clean counter or a clean shot on Buckley and just have the power to put Buckley lights out on the first touch instead of needing multiple touches. Maybe that will help him. But I just feel like the added weight for Chris Curtis is just going to slow him down. Kind of still him in at middleweight, whereas he kind of could have floated between middleweight and welterweight. And also, he still had good strength on him, and it helped him having the speed advantage over his competition at middleweight, a speed and technical advantage over a lot of the guys at middleweight. But I just feel like adding weight and muscle it's not gonna help him in the way he thinks. It might give him confidence in a sense, but it's gonna slow him down, make him probably build up more lactic acid and such. But yeah, I think it's a very, very competitive fight. And I think it's surprisingly going to go to a decision here. I think it'll be back and forth. But I think Buckley just going to outwork him, outvalue him. And I think Buckley's speed is actually going to be a big factor. And also Buckley not having to deal with fighting a guy that's like 6'4", a guy that's roughly around the same height. And then being used to speed and athleticism. Might score a couple little takedowns, no real significant control with the takedowns, but scoring takedowns here and there. And giving Chris Curtis a different look. Then also chaining that together with his speed and his striking and touching Chris Curtis on the feet. But I think this is definitely a back and forth slugfest. Both guys taking it and giving it, but Buckley being a little bit faster and putting up more work and putting up more variety. So in this one, I got Joaquin Buckley via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the middleweight division, Edmen Shahbazyan versus Dalcha Lungiabala. And I'm going to make this one very quick. Dalcha Lungiabala has his judo background, has that, but at middleweight, he just, sucking himself dry. I think at light heavyweight, he was not big enough or strong enough or skilled enough. In that middleweight, I don't know. Let me just cut to the point. The guy just really don't have the cardio. If he really would grappling with approach, he don't really have the cardio to do that. Then on the feet, he's really just a big puncher. No, this body built swinger. That's what it is. Not say he don't have no technique or this stuff, but I can't really see him push the pace for 3 rounds. And the thing with him, he could be okay for the first round, look good for the first round, but dips off second round. I think Shahbazyan gets him out of there in under 2.5 easily. I'm not gonna say easily, but he gets him out of there 2.5. I think that's where it is. Because it could be first or second. I'm gonna say second. That's where you would say the money is in the second round. Get the big guy carrying all this muscle out, sending past the first round and picking apart the second round. I think that's what Shahbazyan does. I think Shahbazyan can hurt him in the first round. I think it's going to be competitive first round. And now, matter of fact, I'm going to say Shahbazyan will win the first round. But I definitely think he'll get him out of there in the second round. So, Lungiabala's going to do the best he can first round. Shahbazyan's not going to worry about, and also another thing, people kind of might be shying away from Shahbazyan in this one but look at who he lost to. He lost to Derek Brunson, a very experienced fighter. Jack Hermanson, one of the better grapplers in the division. He lost some solid studs. And I think last guy for Imaivov is one of the better prospects, future contenders, or whatever you want to call them right now. One of the better fighters. Matter of fact, I feel like Imaivov is one of the better fighters in the division, period, right now. And that's just my honest estimates and opinion. But yeah, Shahbazyan just stand past the first round and put him out second round. Just keep it like that. So in this one, I have Edmen Shahbazyan via second round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the heavyweight division, Jairzinho Rozenstruik versus Chris Daukaus. And how I see one right here, I'm going to go Jairzinho Rozenstruik to say first round TKO KO/TKO for Jairzinho Rozenstruik or Struck. Yeah, it's like Chris Daukaus, he should have this grappling, should have this, should have that. But have we really seen it? No. If you don't show it, then we can't really rate it. And if you don't really use it, it's only going to get worse. You can use it all the time in the gym, but you can't really translate it to fights. Then what is it? Saying you could shoot the lights out 3-pointers all day in the gym, but then you choking all the time, hitting backboard, hitting air in the actual game. It's a big difference. I said, you got to be able to use that in actual fighting. The same way you in fighting, you could be all this inspiring, but you're not getting out there getting the reps in the actual cage in real life situations and an actual competitive environment, not just an in-gym competitive, but in where big risks on the line, then you're not getting the same exact exposure. And that's for Daukaus, I can't really rate his grappling too much. And also he's been knocked out by one-dimensional fighters before. I think he got knocked out by this like African dude, like this big fat African dude who don't even really got no technical skill to swing big lumbering shots. He got knocked out by that dude. So I don't know. I don't think Dawkins beat a single black person. I don't know. During random stats in there, I think he got like 0-4 versus black people of all regions. Just like what's the name? Gustafsson like 0-5 versus American black people or something. But I'm bringing in random race stats. Like sometimes those be valid, but nonetheless, yeah. Jairzinho Rozenstruik is a world class kickboxer. Chris Dock is like an MMA fighter. His striking's okay, but he began to sparked up lately, and it's just like now you're going in with another striker, and it's not like Rozenstruik that's easy to take down and hold down. Like, only some of the world class experienced fighters have done that to him, and it's not like that's the current trend to beat him. And again, Dawkins hasn't shown that ability yet at a high level, so it's like, can I really rate that? I'm more so gonna say, the guy that's been getting knocked out lately, going in there with a world class kickboxer, and he hasn't really shown that plan B yet. So I'm gonna go with the world class kickboxer to knock out the MMA fighter who can strike decently at a mid tier MMA level. So I think Jairzinho Rozenstruik gonna be too fast, gonna be catching with counters, just be touching. I don't think Dawkins gonna wear the shots that well, and he's gonna be playing in Rozenstruik's wheelhouse. So in this one, I have Jairzinho Rozenstruik via first round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the bantamweight division, Jay Perrin versus Raul Rosas Jr. So Raul Rosas Jr. In this one, I got Raul Rosas Jr. to win. I'm gonna say decision. I think it's gonna be a good learning experience for Raul Rosas Jr. I feel like Perrin's gonna test him a lot of area. And in reality, if Perrin wasn't who Perrin was, and like no insult to him at all, it's just like sometimes people just have that string of luck. I'm all coughing on the camera, I'm on the mic. But yeah, some people just had that string of luck. Like I feel like Jay Perrin's actually a very solid fighter. I definitely think he's no like super world class fighter, but I definitely think he belongs UFC skill wise. But there's also just that ability to win. Like people, I see a lot of people that come in, they have the skills to be UFC level, but they just don't. They just like that winning ability. Like wins this kind of just slip off them. Like they can't win, and it's a very strong thing. Like this guy could look like the greatest thing ever since sliced bread, but coming to UFC, struggle to get a win. Like it seems like he has all the things you need to at least stick around, but can't stick around or some. But yeah, just to sum it up, I just feel like Jay Perrin just like that winning ability. It's just not there for me. I feel like Raul Russo Jr. just gonna simply be able to outwork him, be able to out grapple him, control positions, and probably just use that length and reach and size on him to land shots from a distance and just latch onto him and probably win a pretty lackluster decision. But I think it'll be a lot of good control from Raul Rosas Jr. here. And I think he's going to eke out a decision over Perrin. But I think Perrin will test him and, give him that experience he needs as a young fighter. But I think this will definitely be a test that Raul Rosas Jr. will pass. I don't think he was going to pass it with flying colors, but I definitely think he's going to pass it. And a lot of people are going to start talking trash about him just because his performance isn't the prettiest or he had to do what he needed to do to win. But the guy's only, like 17, 18 years old. And like, he really shouldn't even be here yet. Like, they should have given him more time to develop. But yeah, so it's gonna be that experience he needs. And it's the same way with what's his name? Mokaev. Mokaev, you can talk trash about Mokaev and stuff, but the guy's a young guy, and given who he fought, stylistically wise, like it's understandable. It's only gonna make him better. And again, very young guys, and it's only gonna get better. And I feel it's not gonna be the prettiest performance from Raul Rosas Jr., but I think it'll be a clear enough decision with his control time, close, striking total close. Perrin probably landing better shots on the feet, but Raul Rosas Jr. probably getting large points of control time, latching onto him against the cage, straddling him, dragging him down to the cage. Dragging him down to the ground is really making Perrin carry his weight for large portions of this fight. So in this one, I have Raul Rosas Jr. via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in our first fight on the main card in the featherweight division, probably the best fight on this card, to be honest. Bryce Mitchell versus Ilia Topuria in the featherweight division. And in this one, I got Ilia Topuria. My concern with him is like, if he's gonna blow a wad, is he gonna like give it his all and just tire himself out? And then Bryce Mitchell gonna come on late. That's my biggest concern. I feel like both men at their freshest, Ilia Topuria is the better fighter. I feel like he's the better striker. He's the more damaging striker, technically the better striker, skillfully the better striker. Like I said, basically the same thing twice. And he does got fight-ending power. And I think better wrestler, better submission grappler, just better overall fighter. But Mitchell still has that, young, youthful, strong, country-strong chin on him. So, like, you might feel like you'd be able to run over him. You might be striking him, might be picking him apart on the feet. But that guy will tough it through and only get stronger eat, though. Like, he not no guy that's, like, been relying on his chin for a 20-year career or a 10-plus-year career, and now his chin is like so worn down. He just getting knocked out by jabs and like, or he just dared to be worn down. He's a very young, tough kid. Well, I'm not gonna say very young, but he's a fighter in his prime that still has a pretty good chin. Like his chin has not really been touched a whole lot. Like hasn't been like taking a whole lot of damage. He hasn't took a whole lot of wear and tear. Is all I'm saying. So that could be a concern. But I'm ultimately going to go Ilia Topuria. I'm gonna say surprisingly decision here. I was trying to lean submission, which would be interesting, but I'm gonna say decision. I feel like again Mitchell is tough, and it's not like Topuria has like so many high level submission wins on his record. Like he don't like. So Topuria submission not really all that on the board. Knockout's definitely potential, but then again, like I said, Bryce Mitchell is tough. He's going to be going for takedowns, and that's going to give Topuria. It's not going to allow Topuria just to walk him down and just like go for the kill. He's going to have to defend takedowns. Then on top of that, Mitchell has a tough chin, so it's going to be a competitive fight. I feel like Mitchell's going to give him some work. I feel like Mitchell definitely going to have to force him to dig deep in this one. But I think Ilia Topuria is going to be start off to a strong start and still be able to maintain it through the third round. I don't know if he's going to win the third round necessarily, but I definitely think he should be able to win the first round, win most of the second round, and then keep the third round competitive, probably even still win the third round. But I definitely think Bryce Mitchell's going to be in there tough and, force him to fight at a high pace or a good pace throughout the whole fight. But Ilia Topuria just been better in every area. On the feet, the more technical striker, the heavier hitter striker, the more dangerous, damaging striker. On the feet, the stronger grappler, stronger wrestler, and the more technical in every area as well. So just got to worry about the pace is really the concern if you're backing Ilia Topuria here. So in this one, I have Ilia Topuria via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the middleweight division, Darren Till versus Dricus du Plessis. And how I see this one right here is I'm gonna go Dricus du Plessis. I was really about to shift this pick, but all of it, like let me just stick down with the picks I've really made. Some pick I might shift, but I'm just gonna I'm gonna stand like 10 toes on the picks and like they is what they is. Like just gonna stand 10 toes on it. And it's not like it's the worst pick. Definitely shifting probably from like a high confidence to a low confidence, but I'm still sticking with the pick, and I'm sticking with Dricus du Plessis to beat Darren Till. I feel like Darren Till, like I said, he's coming in and hopefully making the adjustments he needs to make so he can get this win and stick in the UFC. And like he's looking like he's like prior to like a month or 2 months ago when he's looking soggy and fat, he looked like he got abs and he's looking in shape and stuff. So that's a good sign. He's looking semi-confident. Like I'm not saying that same confidence that when he was coming up at the welterweight division. I'm not saying that same guy, but at least I'm saying good signs. He's not looking beaten. He's not looking worn. He's not looking as confident as at his best or when he was riding that streak. He's not looking as confident, but looking pretty confident enough. I mean, that's a good sign, looking in good shape. And Dricus du Plessis does come forward a lot and leave that chin out there. And we've seen him get rocked by Brad Tavares, who's still a solid fighter, to be honest. And also Brad Tavares on his side has probably number 2 best takedown defense in middleweight history and probably like top 10 takedown defense ratios in all of MMA with all of UFC history. So it's a different thing. Darren Till takedown defense isn't on the level of, and wrestling defense isn't on the level of Brad Tavares, and we know that. Yeah, we know that. But Darren Till could definitely catch Dricus du Plessis. He does got the ability and power to put him out. He's gonna keep coming in sloppy like that. But I just think Darren Till historically has never been that guy that's been in tough fights and thrived. He's good as a front runner, or maybe fights that seemingly competitive, but I think Dricus du Plessis is going to drown him. I think Dricus du Plessis is going to come in, making like looking sloppy in a lot of ways. But same way he did with Brad Tavares, he's going to start to just start to wear on him. And like the fight settle in, like the fight start, gets like I say, he's going to survive some of these big shots, probably rock, but eventually just start outworking. Like matter of fact, whole point gonna be outworking Darren Till. But as the fight starts to settle down, and Darren Till starts to slow down, this guy's still in front of you, still coming at you, doing these wild, unorthodox combinations and looking for takedowns and wearing on you against the cage. I think he's going to wear down Darren Till, and I'm thinking he's going to submit him in the third round. But definitely Darren Till initially going to be the more technical fighter. Definitely throughout the fight going to be the more technical striker. But Dricus du Plessis is just going to overwhelm him with volume and pressure. And then eventually start to get those takedowns and start to wear on Till, and Till just going to start to be demoralized. And he's going to start to go back to the Darren Till as of late. That confidence is going to go out the window, and that fear and doubt going to sink back in. Or sink back in, and I think Dricus du Plessis is going to start to wear on him, and I think he taps him out third round. Start ground and pound of Darren Till probably going to give his back up, probably bust up a little bit, tired, gasping for air, and then Dricus du Plessis is going to give him a favor, tap him out, and get him out of there. So in this one, I got Dricus Duplessis via third round submission. Now to our next fight, we have in a catchweight bout at 180 between Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Alex Morano. And how I see this one right here is I'm going to go Alex Morano, which is a bit of a wild card here, or a little bit of a wild card. I don't know how y'all see it. But yeah, Ponzinibbio to me has not been looking all that great since he's returned. Even in his win against Miguel Baeza, I feel like reality Baeza won that one. Baeza was rocking with every single clean shot he was landing. Ponzinibbio was like knees were turning to butter every single shot he was getting hit with. I just think his jab, consistent jab, will allow him to win, but I don't feel like he landed any real damage. I feel like all the damage was Baeza, and I feel like striking totals were relatively close. And yeah, Ponzinibbio, every single time he got hit with a clean strike, and it was literally like every round he would get on skates and would just go on the back, but every single time he got hit with anything clean. And that was, like I said, in every single round. It didn't, like I said, Jeff Neal fight lost pretty cleanly. It was a competitive enough fight, but I just like Jeff Neal just didn't really turn up in that fight. He probably could have put him away if he wanted to. I mean, if he could turn that gear on, make that second gear shift, then yeah, none of these fights he looked super good. He has not looked like the same guy. Alex Morano ain't been looking super impressive, but I feel like he's been making better decisions. He ain't the same guy from maybe 5 years ago who would just go out there and just throwing his skill set out the window and just fighting sloppy and just trying to get these fight at night bonuses. I feel like he's fighting smarter now. And to me, between the two, he's been looking better. Level of competition, obviously not the same, but he's been looking better. He's the younger guy. And Ponzinibbio also has not been putting no one away or really hurting no one. Matter of fact, who has he really hurt since he returned? No one. He got hurt more than he's been hurting people. He's been getting stunned and buckled every single fight, but he really ain't been hurting nobody since he returned. Like that same fire, that same sharpness ain't there. And I got like Alex Morano here there. Like I said, you're going to keep him in the fight. Morano's going to put the work on you. And he could look to mix and takedowns, just look to fight a more competitive, more fleshed out fight. But definitely see this is a very, very close fight. But by the slimmest of margin, I got to go Alex Morano, and I think he's going to eke out a decision over Ponzinibbio, outwork him, mix it up better than him, and probably even hurt him a couple times, like with some unorthodox strikes. So I feel like he's going to wear the shots better. He's going to put the higher volume and mix it up more and eke out a decision over Ponzinibbio. So in this one, I have Alex Morano via decision. Now to our co-main event, we have in the, I was about to say featherweight, lightweight division, Paddy Pimblett versus Jared Gordon. And how I see this one right here is I'm going Paddy Pimblett. I think Jared Gordon has all the skills to cause Paddy Pimblett issues. And I think it's been at least like two fighters that have similar styles and skill sets to Jared Gordon, and probably not even as good as Jared Gordon, that have beaten Paddy Pimblett at points in his career. But that's why right now Paddy Pimblett is not going to lose for a good little bit of time until they give him a significant step up. This is a good step up, and I feel like this is by far the best fighter he's fought or has been scheduled to fight. But another thing about Gordon is that he has had points in his career where he has struggled to complete the marathon. Like he can go out there and put up 100,000 punches and kicks and put a high volume. Gordon could put up a good pace, and he does have a good well-rounded skill set. But we have seen him in fights where he looked good and then he gets caught. And that's like, I feel like prior to his last fight, that's really been all his loss. Like he can look good, but he get touched and he gone. I feel like that's gonna be this fight. It'll be a wild, ugly fight in a sense. It's not gonna be the prettiest fight. Well, it's not gonna be wild or ugly. It's gonna be ugly for Pimblett because he probably get taken down control, probably get hit with clean shots, probably get buckled a little bit by some shots taken down, and had to work from behind and get that Hail Mary hook or something on Gordon when Gordon kind of let his defenses down a little bit and use that length reach and kind of explode and catch him with something. But I think it's gonna be a very back and forth, probably exciting fight if you're not betting on this fight, because he's probably like biting your nails, like saying, "Damn, I got money on Gordon. Gordon keep getting close, getting caught with his hook." Or you got man on Pimblett. Like Pimblett been getting taken down for 2 rounds. Like man, it's spending too much time on the ground. Like I put $1,000 on this man. Like I'm concerned. But yeah, I don't think this is the best fight for betting, unless maybe you want to bet Pimblett late or something and like live bet on him. Matter of fact, Pimblett's a good parlay option. I feel like he's gonna win. Like he's a good parlay option. Straight bet, a lot of money on one guy, Pimblett. I don't think so. He's a great option in this one. I don't think that at all. But yeah. I think Gordon's gonna have good control time, look good early, but I think Pimblett's really gonna start to wear him down. He's catching with stuff, and then start to oppose his will and size upon Gordon. I think he taps him out like 3rd round. But I think this is one of those wild fights where Gordon's where Pimblett's gonna have to bring it back from behind, catch him with something, and put him away. And that's really been all these fights. It's not like I feel like every single fight he's been in UFC, he had to come from behind in a sense. The 11th fight, I feel like he was a little bit behind in that one. His debut, he was getting hurt. It was a 1st round stop, but he was getting hurt and he had to come behind. I think it was Vargas fight or whatever his name is. Is it Vargas? Was a come behind. So yeah. I guess it's going to be to his theme. It's going to stick within the theme. We need to come from behind and get the win. So yeah, I'm going to say like third round submission. He's going to hurt him in the third round. Then once he have him hurt, he can just take his back, choke him out third round. So in this one, I have Paddy Pimblett via third round submission. Now to our main event, we have in the light heavyweight division for the undisputed light heavyweight title since, well, the vacated light heavyweight title because Jerry Prochazka got injured and he chose to vacate the belt. And now these two are fighting for the undisputed title when they originally were the co-main event. So yeah, Blachowicz versus Magomed Ankalaev or Jan Blachowicz versus Magomed Ankalaev. I'm about to go Magomed Ankalaev with good confidence. I feel like on the feet he can match him. And also like Ankalaev is the striker that falls into who Blachowicz can do well against. I feel like Magomed Ankalaev judges distance well. He picks his shots well. And he's not like a super kick-heavy fighter that's, trying to, play footsie with you, like, maybe like Adesanya was in his fight. And Blachowicz is very good at slipping kicks, checking kicks, throwing calf kicks. And so you kind of play that game with him. And he can do a good job. He's probably one of the better guys at playing that game with you. But I don't think Magomed Ankalaev is a guy looking to play that game with him. Like, I feel like Ankalaev can definitely out-wrestle him, out-wrestle him, get the control time on him. I feel like Ankalaev could beat him with the hands. I feel like his boxing, the hands are cleaner. I feel like Blachowicz striking on the feet with his hands, I feel like that's his weakest area as far as striking. He got an okay kind of weird jab. It's kind of stiff looking, but it's effective. I feel like Magomed Ankalaev got more fluid hands and the better fundamentals as far as definitely from the hip up on the hands. I feel like Blachowicz a lot of times swing, leave his chin up, come in and run in with his chin up. I feel like Ankalaev can definitely pick him apart, cut an angle, catch him with counters. In reality, I'm gonna say he's gonna put him away. 5 rounds is a long time, and Blachowicz does make a lot of mistakes. And if Magomed Ankalaev fights a smart fight and fights, uses his technique, there's definitely openings, and I feel like he can count him on the feet, take him down, land some ground and pound on him, and just really wear him. I'm gonna say like third round TKO. I feel like it's gonna be a good fill out process, but I feel like Ankalaev's hands are gonna be doing a lot of work on Blachowicz, like catching with counters as he comes in, setting up the kicks with his hands, not just like feigning and throwing kicks, but like touching, forcing Blachowicz to have to bring the hands up because he's getting touched up on the feet or touched up with the hands. So now he's responding to the hands. Then the kicks will be able to slip in better. I think more so Ankalaev's probably gonna focus on body kicks and head kicks. So he's not really focused on getting his kicks checked or how to deal with too much damage there. So probably really focus on the body up with his punch. Well, yeah, with his kicks. Well, obviously he's not gonna punch no legs, but yeah. So yeah, I think Blachowicz gonna fight a good fight, but I feel like Ankalaev is gonna have a step ahead of him. Be the mixing the takedowns on Blachowicz. When Blachowicz tries to cover distance or just step off and land counters on Blachowicz, set him up with the hands, then bring the kicks to the body, just really start to wear Blachowicz down and start to get takedowns. And then in the third round, probably land a clean counter, follow him to the mat, like clean counter, drop him, follow him to the mat, ground and pound, and get him out of there third round. So in this one, I had Magomed Ankalaev via third round TKO. And that concludes my fight predictions for the 4-card fights for UFC 282, Blachowicz versus Ankalaev. And as always, thanks for watching.